The tavern's always open.
That's actually fitting he would say that because of how fucking late I'm streaming. This is gonna be another half asleep stream. I guess I'm not as tired today, but it's super late for me. I hate doing this, but I don't really have a choice these days. So all I want to do is get to rank 50 here, and maybe I'll use that as a bridge to stop playing as Renounce Darkness, and then we can play some other of my fun gimmick theme decks. Which a lot of them are still like old school and the same ones over and over that I played so many times, but I don't really give a shit about the mini set. That is a pretty cool Cthulhu thing. Wicked Kael'thas. Did they ever make like a regular Kael'thas? I'm sure they did, but like you never see it. Like just a mage. I'll make it an ASMR eating stream. I haven't done that since. I normally hate doing that, but I can understand for people who stream for very long periods of time, they almost don't have a choice but to do that. Trying to milk the whole old god aspect of this. They really like to use Yogg in that way. Like Yogg is sort of like a bridge to a lot of gimmicky, stupid things, like, oh, you know, random spells and all these kind of meme-worthy things over the years. But I'm not saying he shouldn't be in there. Obviously, with Titans, he should, but it's not. The way they made it like forcible for every single mode was kind of stupid, right? Like you play a game, period, just in regular, standard, ranked, whatever, and it forces you to play with some other condition instilled by Yogg. Like, that should be a separate mode. Nas Dormu. I always wanted to play a format consistently. That should be a twist mode, right? Nas Dormu twist, where every single game is 15 seconds turns, period. It doesn't mean you have to play him in there. It doesn't mean that both players have to play him in there. You should just force it to happen. That would be a very fun idea, actually. And if you don't like it, just don't play it. So mainly I just want to get to rank 50, but I've somehow had a lot of trouble doing this because you think about it, the mini set's already out. So like, what if I forgot? That's why I don't want to get distracted and do something else. At least I should get that today. Win 5 games, although that's pretty hard to do considering the kind of garbage I use. There's really nothing else I'm doing with the series, though. I'm kind of just playing random stuff. And I guess I have been playing Twist just for the fuck of it, but all of these should have Renounce in there. And a lot of the time I end up not even using it because if I don't get it like super early, I'm not going to force myself to play it. You know, I still should play to win for whatever that's worth, but had some kind of weird hand lock thing in here.
N'Zoth versus Maiev.
None can escape my fury.
All eyes shall be open.
What's interesting is back in the day, I would stream for such long periods of time, but I would never get tired doing it, right? But even if I'm tired now, it's just more so because I'm doing it at a later time, not because I've done it for such a long period of time. It's kind of hard to explain, but because all you're really doing is playing a game and talking. But I guess people were impressed with that even when I was playing chess. Like, how are you playing for 10 hours and still talking? Maybe that's why I would play so badly, but it really doesn't bother me too much. But that wasn't really my old... Oh yeah, that's the whole thing of this, which I didn't even care about. Based on how many cards you have is how much health you have, like... That's fine. Like, I'm still gonna have 30. I guess we can do this, drag it out for a little bit. I don't know what class that would benefit more than anything, like probably Priest or Warrior or something, just to play a more control style anyway, Renathal, without even needing to have Renathal. So does that mean you could have... No, but you couldn't play that anyway because it's not part of the, obviously, the set. These decks are not particularly good, but again, if you're not getting Renounced at the beginning, it's kind of fucked. What was the new hero card they added? Because I was even saying, like, they were phasing the hero cards out, but then I saw one that they put in. Right? Like, maybe with the mini set or something? I can't remember now. It's amazing how much I could play, like, one deck over and over, though. I guess because I play so little, but part of it is also just, like, you know... I guess somehow I'm easily entertained sometimes. You could actually Shadow Flame this and just... Or actually, it's not a very good Shadow Flame to do, but... I just want to do it to summon one of the demons, which wasn't even really worth it at all. This is about all summoning random demons, I think, but make it even more random than, you know, just Renounce itself. But I guess you can't do them both together. Okay, I guess I could still do it, but I kind of don't want to. Or go face. You could do this, and then you could still do it, but the question is, should I really want to do it? I guess I'll leave it up to that. If that would have discarded Renounce, I wouldn't have done it. But doing it at this stage in the game is very bad. The only good time to do it is like on turn 4. Like you coin into it on turn 4 with a full hand, and then you just, you know, are off to a really good start. But now it's so late that you'd rather just play for Jiraxis or something else. So I don't always play Renounce Darkness, but when I do, I don't actually even play it, so. Like a deck with it in there, obviously. For fuck's sake, dude. Like, why wouldn't I rather just do this? And then you can still do it later. That's the whole thing. Or whenever you get a demon, the odds are these last 2 episodes of Hearthstone are going to be pretty funny. Like, one of them I'm half asleep, one of them I'm eating. Like, what the fuck am I doing? Did all the things I normally would never do. Like, you know, if you get a random demon, the odds are it's going to be a Warlock card anyway, which plays into Renounce anyway, so it kind of, you know, still works together for that same effect. Let's see. Getting a little bit low on health. I can't believe I can't believe they changed the Jiraxis to no longer bring you back to 15 health, though. That aspect I find a little bit strange. But yeah, basically all I want is rank 50, which doing the daily quest / weekly quest to do that on its own, but you know, it's just kind of a little bit weird because it shouldn't really have taken me this long to do it, but I guess that shows you how little I play. Now you could do it to try to get rescued by a heal, but as long as you have taunts, I almost feel okay with it. Even if I discard Renounce, I'll still have another Renounce. Having 2 of them seems ridiculous, you know, in any sort of reasonable deck. You would sometimes have it in some meta, I can't remember when, like where it was actually okay because you would have like a really slow control deck. So against aggro decks, if you think you're going to lose anyway, you just do it. I still don't think it'd really be worth it to have it, but still didn't even get to silver. Like, how far is it into the month? I guess I was only playing Twist the other times too. That was like a drunk stream simulation, though. Try to stream, not that you really should, but try to stream when you're like super tired and like half asleep, and then you'll realize that you're not even aware of like what you're saying, right? That's it was kind of an interesting effect actually that I was sort of playing into. I could have just ended off, but I was kind of intrigued by what the fuck did I just do? I was kind of intrigued by it, like I wanted to see where it would go. And now I could listen back and be like, wow, I don't even remember saying that because you are like literally totally out of it. It'd be a good turn for twisting Nether, but even then, oh, it's interesting that you would choose to do that. Problem is you'll be able to do it, but then you won't be able to do much else, so you'll still be in a lot of trouble, right? But presumably they can't play too many more Jades because they kind of just committed to that pretty hard.
Golems are a girl's best friend.
You want to do Jiraxis, but you're not going to have the health to be able to do it. Why you got to play something like Jade? You know, you have the opportunity to play so many fun, interesting things. What if I'm still not dead? Because what if you combine that with this, and you kill this? You're only going to hit me for like 7. Right, so if you only hit me for 7, it shouldn't be that bad. I should title this, yeah, ASMR eating stream. I always find that like I find that the funniest kind of shit that people do, like XQC will be eating a fucking meal on stream and watching like a TV show like React Andy. Like, what the fuck is this form of content that people do? That's why, like, on the rare time I do it, I'll like play into it more. Like, yeah, I'll actually make a big thing out of it. 'Cause, like, this is the kind of shit. What it is it's like people who are streaming all day, every day, and it creates like such a, like, people would watch him do anything is basically the point. Totally ice block. You know, it creates such a cult of personality thing. Like, you would sit there and watch somebody eat their food and watch a show. Like, it creates like this lowest common denominator element. Like, oh, it's like watching a show with a friend and eating a meal with a friend. It's like, okay, but that's not what any sort of standard would be about. And what's ironic is people would defend it, but that's not even what got those same people where they are. Like, oh, he was the esports pro and esports MVP, and like, for whatever you think that's worth, right? Like, that's still a standard that, okay, that justifies getting where you are, getting some attention and popularity. But then to spit in the face of it like that, so of course they would defend it by saying, oh, they're streaming for such long periods of time. But like, you know, that's not somebody else's problem. That's your problem. Like, if you have to eat food or you have to use the bathroom, like, that's not the fault of the audience. Like, oh, how can you complain because he's streaming for 12 hours a day? Well, then don't do it 12 hours a day, or take breaks, or, you know, it just seems weird. Like, you're bringing into it something else. Like, it's just very weird. Like it becomes a reality TV show, because like every little thing you do in your life is going to be on stream because you're streaming all the fucking time, because you don't have a life. Your life is streaming. So sometimes people can't tell the difference maybe, or there's just something a little bit strange about it. This is a pretty long queue. Like, at least have the pretense that you're doing something of value based in meritocracy.
Huzzah versus Thrall.
Like, whether you're an esports pro or you're a speedrunner, a hard mode player, permadeath player, like, just something. Okay, this time I should go for it. You just want to tap a couple of times. You know, you don't even really want to play that, is the thing, but because you not only want to have as many cards as possible, but you want to have specifically as many warlock cards as possible.
I smell blood.
40 HP shaman. I wonder what this is all about. What does it all mean, I wonder? I don't know what that's from. It's like some sort of so bad it's good kind of line from a movie or something. But, or maybe it's not even, but it's just some sort of meme reference that is kind of old school. What does it all mean? I mean, probably should do that, despite my desire to do Renounce, or I could have just done Renounce and hope you get a couple zero costs. I feel like I've done pretty well with Paladins, because there's always going to be heals and stuff like that. They keep you alive, even cheap. Either Paladin or like Paladin or Priest or something. Even Warriors sometimes can be okay. Cover a card with Overload. Silence a minion is not going to do anything. That would be good, but I mean, I'm not going to be able to do it. Or I maybe should have done. I maybe should have done the wolves. It's gonna be a total fucking mirror matchup. If I can survive for a little bit, I might be in good shape. The value does sort of shine through sometimes, so that'll be a good play. Unfortunately, you can't do anything with it, or even with that increased value. Mistcaller is pretty awesome, but I mean, it's way too slow for this type of deck. Like, it really goes against what Renounce is all about. You got to win it in kind of an aggro sense, even though you start so late and waste. Yeah, it's an aggro deck where you waste like the first 4 turns just life tapping and then playing Renounce before you can actually do anything. So it's a little bit oxymoronic. Give it taunt. We have another AoE though, so that's pretty good. Those are the three things you kind of need with Renounce. You need AoE, you need card draw, and you need healing, because you're going to be a low health constantly just from having to get to the point where you can play Renounce, where you're kind of tapping and not doing anything the first couple turns. Then you need AoE because they're going to flood the board and just whatever. That's just normal. And then you're also going to need card draw, because even when you get good value stuff and you play it all, you're going to run out of room, or you're going to just run out of stuff, period, because, you know, all spells have lifesteal. This could be pretty good, actually, if I just decide to, if I decide to do the AoE. That could be insane, actually. Or even doing this, I guess. It won't do enough to kill him, though, is the problem. That would have been such a good play. But give me the spell damage totem, please. Fuck you. You know, we could still do... No, we could still die, then.
Feel the power.
You know, maybe I'll just deal with that. All these kind of cool things where you kind of squeeze the water from the stone. It's almost like playing a draft or something in the middle of a game, although you don't get much choice in the matter. But this is one of my favorite mechanics in any card game ever. Like, what are my big three favorites that I always talk about? My favorite mechanic is the hexproof thing. My favorite card is Renounce. My favorite deck is Iron Juggernaut. It almost seems like I'm contradicting myself. Like, how can I have so many favorites? But they're all different ones, obviously. This might be the best that you can do. I mean, I could just do the AoE there, but it doesn't seem worth it, really. So the whole health thing is not a major gimmick, really, but I just like playing kind of with these older expansions of cards or kind of restricting you in some way, because I kind of end up doing that in Wild anyway. Like, I'm not always using the newest stuff. I'm just using some kind of themed gimmick deck, like whatever, like Renounce or Iron Juggernaut or something. They made the Iron Juggernaut quite a bit better too, but it's not something I've used much lately. I could just try to finish him off, but you know, that taunt is pretty fortuitous, so it all kind of comes together. Isn't this so much more satisfying than trying to win with an actual good deck? And I don't even say it at the expense of that. You can do that too, but I'm not going to make a legend run when I have this little time. I'll do some kind of pirate warrior type bullshit. What the fuck is he doing? I've been using N'Zoth for a bit too long, but I guess I'll do it at least until I get Sargeras, and then I can dick around with him or whatever. It's not like I'm in a rush to play the cosmetics. Like, imagine losing to Renounce Darkness. Like, what a big clown you would have to be. And even if you win, you don't feel very good about it either. So it's the ultimate way to just, you know, take the damper out of their whole experience, because how much would you actually need if I look at it? You need 1,600 to get to 48. So even if you need around that, so 1,600 plus 28 plus, I mean, it should be enough. Like, if you do all of those, Tavern Brawl, Arena, Battlegrounds, or Duels, then 50 mana, those are pretty easy to do too. The problem is I don't play for long enough to probably even do that much. What I like that lesson from Ark, though, is just minimalism. Sometimes the best way to survive is just to do nothing at all. What's funny about the whole ASMR thing is like, oh yeah, haha, ASMR mukbang, rich. Gonna fucking choke, dude. Like Ritz Bits ASMR mukbang. No, but it's like my voice and delivery was always so quiet and monotone in the past. that I would basically be known for. Yeah, rub it in my face that I won't be able to get that one because I don't play obviously nearly enough to do that. But basically, I basically did ASMR without meaning to do it in the past in my old channel and just my old style of content, because I would have like this kind of whispery, laid back, whatever disposition. I wasn't trying to do ASMR, but it kind of would fit into that space anyway. So I almost played into it that way a little bit, somewhat as a joke at times, but the idea with that was sort of still in keeping with some of my meritocracy ideation, because regardless of whether you live up to it or not, you know, the gameplay should speak for itself, or, you know, you shouldn't need to be yelling and screaming and doing all this kind of crazy crap. Or even beyond that, it should be a case where basically, you know, you're kind of like, you're not doing face cam, you're not doing like react shit, you're not being super emotional or over the top or whatever. So the focus is then held accountable. Like, why would people watch you? Because, oh wow, you're so boring, or you're not really doing anything or not saying anything. Or when you do, it's so quiet and you're not placing a bunch of emphasis on it and you're not showing your facial reactions and all these kind of things. So it has to be about something else. And what it's going to be about is obviously the gameplay or whatever accomplishment you're doing. So whether it's a big deal or not, it's just like that maybe wasn't worth it. In fact, I should have just done that. Yeah, look how long it took me. Rank 50 by the time the expansion's almost over in the reward track, even with the experience boost, because I got it obviously because we're going to need to get Sargeras from that anyway. But the Bane of Doom, I don't know when they changed that to that point either. We're already about to lose. From 2 damage to 3. Like, let's say you use all these old cards, but meanwhile, they'll be completely different than when you use them in the first place, and we'll add in the counters of time stuff. So it's like, I don't mind that, but if you're going to try to do an older format, why not just do the older format? They really missed an opportunity with Classic, because when they introduced the Classic format, they should have rotated it with respect to, you know, go through different expansions or whatever. You don't have to keep doing the same one over and over. I love the part where N'Zoth kills N'Zoth and says, I N'Zoth all over your N'Zoth. Fuck. Yeah, I like how it acts like in some of the flavor text, like, oh, the old gods were like friends or something. They hated each other and were constantly at war with each other, so, you know, they're kind of undermine their own cause that way a little bit. Or that's the one villain thing, like where their evil plan couldn't be to destroy the world because that would destroy themselves too. Or like, you know, if you kill the old gods, you destroy the planet, basically. That's the reason why you couldn't kill them, I guess. Or like why the Titans didn't kill them all the way. They just imprisoned them. What could go wrong? Right, like maybe if you have a planet that has nothing but old gods on it and all this kind of crazy crap, maybe you should destroy the planet. You shouldn't try to say, oh, we'll just imprison them and wait. So it's not like I'm not trying to do Renounce, but I'm just not getting it. So what am I supposed to do? It's one of the dumbest changes in the game's history. Like, you should still have the succubus, but it doesn't have to be looking so sultry or whatever. It is a mobile game. It is a game that's supposed to prey on kids and make them buy microtransactions. It is supposed to be a universal kind of a mainstream, lowest common denominator, acceptable in China type of thing. So, of course, when you fit into that category, the stimuli Acme is not welcome there. This is going pretty badly too. I mean, I do have to win some of these if I'm going to try to get to rank 50. I just want to do it so it's off my chest and then I can do whatever I want. It is amazing how fucking little I do in this game now. But I guess I'm not really trying to do anything, so... Like, I don't do drafts anymore. I don't do other modes. I was doing that kind of game mode round robin for a little bit. Like, I would play Battlegrounds, and I would keep playing them until I don't get top 3, or I would do an arena until I don't get 7 wins, which I wasn't really doing that at all, because I don't really know how arenas work as much anymore. It's completely different, obviously, but... yeah, this is that Cavern of Time type bullshit. But I didn't even do it. I got it from the Discover effect, obviously, because you would make Alakir proud. Summon a random 1-cost minion. But yeah, this reminds you of the thing from another world, right? When it dies, it should... oh, they missed the opportunity. It should make the death cry of 1,000 worlds, where it sounds like a million different creatures that it absorbed over time. I just made that connection now. Is that kind of what it's based on, even? Right, like it's just like some sort of creature that can absorb stuff. So it'll absorb so many things that you can kind of switch between them and imitate them and stuff like that. Okay, that's not a big deal because I don't have too many that I could summon right now anyway. It is the kind of card that's better later in the game. So I want to play some of my other ones that I haven't played in a while. And the twist mode almost made it seem like, oh, it'd be fun to play some of those in there. Like, you know, just with respect to... let's just go phase. You know, you would be able to play Renounce in there, and maybe you'll do better in there than otherwise. But, like, nobody's ever gotten Legend with Renounce. Not, like, with it in their deck, but with actively playing it. Even there, I wasn't always playing it because you couldn't play it. Because, you know, some games it just wouldn't be optimal, or you wouldn't even get it. So what kind of condition would that be? Like, you have to play it in 75% plus of games, or the majority of games, or whenever you get it, or like, how do you mulligan for it every time? Like, there's only so much you can do to try to guarantee that you could even play it, let alone play it under optimal circumstances where you might have a chance of winning. Like, try to get to Legend with Whizbang, which theoretically could be possible, because one of those decks in Whizbang's rotation could be good enough to get to Legend, like that Imp one, right, that we saw. The Imp one was like almost good enough. The only problem oh fuck. The only problem is that you wouldn't get the same one over and over, so they would all have to be good enough, or you have to get on like very lucky streaks with it, or get the exact one at the exact right time. So it'd be an interesting thing to try, but that's definitely a card that shouldn't be in Wild, because the whole point of it is you play one of the standard recipes, so it allows anybody to play any of them at any time. Of course, it won't be that good because you can't choose which one and it's random, but like, shouldn't that be a card that's always a bit playable in standard or in any format, just so you can try out different recipes without having the cards? Like, why should I have to play in Wild to do that? It's such a weird thing. It's such an awesome card, but yeah, I'm probably gonna lose, but whatever, dude. Maybe I can cheat the fact of even having to win, because I can just do with my hero powers and stuff. Or this could still save me, give me a paladin heals and stuff. Fuck. I'm still not dead technically, but I don't know. They're just kind of playing around with me. My favorite mechanic in PvZ Hero is like the fucking Octo guy who keeps, you know, giving you another one whenever he dies, which in a game like that is a far greater significance, because whatever, just it's not the kind of game where you have that sort of infinite value most of the time. I guess this one isn't as easy to do as you might think, because you would have to fucking play forever. You have to rank 48 or almost rank 49, but we would have to do one of these, which is going to be pretty hard to do. That'll give you 1,000, so that'll get you to 49. Then you'd have to complete one of these, which will be the hero power. So yeah, those two combined should do it for me. That was my title for last time, or my last episode that I uploaded at least. That was pretty funny, like, or no, I did lose with that one, right? So I should change to the next one. Ever seen somebody half asleep play Hearthstone? Oh, right, it's 2023. and the stupid skull emoji. Like, anybody would be asleep anyway. Of course you have. But it wasn't even any fault of the game itself. It's just the fact that it was so late and I was tired. But we do have that card back. I just have been too lazy, I guess, to change mine. Or mine just changed automatically with what deck I use. Some of them are the legend card back. Some of them are the, you know, like the fucking N'Zoth one. Like, it literally just changes by that. I'm not even choosing to do it. So why is this even gold, though? I feel like the original one wasn't. So I'll complain about a cosmetic that I had yearned for so long, but now it's like, I don't think it was always like that. Or is that because I'm a 500 win? But that shouldn't affect a random one like that. It's not like every single one will always be gold just because, I don't know. You don't even necessarily have to win games to do this, but I would like to win a couple at least. As silver rank 10, getting hard to get silver 10 is always a good telltale sign of a gimmick themed deck, like the Iron Juggernaut or something. So again, if you give me Renounce, I'll do it, but kind of tempting to play all these big demons. Or if you ever get a chance to play Jiraxis, obviously that's going to give you a better chance of winning than anything else, but not always so simple. Fuck. This would almost be a good time to do it because you feel like you have to get lucky and do some you know, crazy thing to try to survive. Give me like a 0 mana AoE. Ice Lance, I mean, it probably would be okay, I guess, but it just shows how desperate I am. But I could have all kinds of AoE potential coming up here. Deal 2 damage to a minion if it's frozen, draw a card. This could be okay, but you're kind of only taking 1 damage anyway from these fucking dinky things. But yeah, that's a dumb thing they did too. In the Twist mode, you keep seeing these newer expansions. Like, you can't use Nathria cards in Twist, right? But they still show it to you. It's like with Wild, they show you older ones typically. Oh, wow. That's not even because of Renounce. That's because of Malchezaar. Look at the level of greatness that this represents in gaming history. Like, that moment. Malchezaar comes in clutch when Renounce lets me down. Like, you have all these different things working together. Pretty much the only one you don't have in here is Elise, I think. Right? I don't think you can use her in this one either. You couldn't use her last month, at least. That's the ultimate trifecta, holy trinity of this game. Renounce Darkness, Prince Malchezaar, Elise Trailblazer. Quite a combination. Sounds like a good Sunday night, as the guy from Until Dawn would say. That is just epic, clutch, god tier thing. Because I probably would have lost for sure without that. I'll probably still lose, in fact. But I would have never, like, if I could have said, oh, what card do I hope I get? I hope I get some kind of mage AoE, of which you have a lot. But no, you have to get the fucking Flame Leviathan, which is also a mech, which also synergizes with this. Like, this is how you play a fucking card game, dude. And even though I'm not the biggest fan of random effects and discover effects and stuff, you know, internal RNG in a card game that's already based on RNG based on the order in which you draw your cards and stuff, I still would say that this is such a fun thing. He's shocked by that play. He could not believe what an epic outcome that was. This effect almost doesn't even matter too much right now, but I could do this into that. And this is good only because, or I could have combined those already right now. Just to clear the board a little bit. But you do kind of have to win now. If he's able to clear the board and survive, then you're not going to win, which is often what happens. Or it almost incentivizes me to play my hero power just to do the daily quest, even if, or the weekly quest, even if it's not the optimal play to do in the first place. We should be able to combine these two and we have a really good thing going, or I could do that. I could do this plus this, or whatever. Might even be good to do Potion of Polymorph here. I do 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 would be the perfect curve play. That'll be good later. Or no, I don't even have to do that. Do that as well. Anything big you try to summon to deal with this is also going to get screwed over. Yeah, if it wasn't for that, I probably wouldn't have won this game. So that shows you how epic it was. It will give you exactly what you need when you need it. Except all the times it obviously doesn't. Or even then, you'll still often lose when it does do that. That's what's so deflating. Like, that doesn't mean that you're guaranteed to win just because I got the AoE. If he has any sort of decent quality deck, I'm already low on cards. But you are just basically dead anyway. That doesn't even matter. You would have just lost. It was all because of you, dude. I wouldn't even try to take any credit for that, but wait, is Malchezaar's not even in all of these decks, but it is in this one at least. Or I should have let the Flame Leviathan do it just out of a sense of honor for what he did. So how much is that? 37 out of 50, 2 out of 5. What is the other one? Isn't there? Or maybe I already did it. 3 tavern things that you need like 11, 1200, which you would get clearly from the hero power one. So we have nothing to really worry about. We're gonna get it right now, obviously. Use my hero power 13 times, which I'll do just to tap for stuff. Now this one I wasn't even supposed to play as because I was technically supposed to play as the one that's like each one until I lose. So I don't know how that happened. I just misclicked it, I guess. Which one of these has Malchezaar in there? You know what? Let's give it a... No, I won't do it because Malchezaar might not be in all of these. Renounce is in all 4, but that's the only thing they have in common. I like how it shows you that too. Like, oh, I have infinite channel points for my own channel just because I'm logged in. Like, what is even the point of that? Well, I'm going to rig my own polls in my favor. Complete class. Yeah, I don't really care about anything past rank 50 unless they add like a different... I will have to do that at least once before the game goes. Those are 2 things that I could theoretically try to do. Or 3 things. One is be number 1 in Battlegrounds, which isn't that big of a deal. Like, I just haven't played it that much, but I've only gotten like rank 2 as highest, like 2nd place. Then number 2 is get to Legend rank 1, which I've never tried to do. Every time I get to Legend, it's the end of the month, or I just stop playing. So I'm already burnt out. But it's not like that's an excuse. It's just like I've tried to get Legend, and I've done it, obviously, many times, but I haven't tried to get Legend rank 1. And then I also haven't done... I also haven't done something else that I was about to say, like, I should try to do this at least once before the game goes offline, which is try to get to rank 100 in the reward track just to, yeah, you'd probably get to Legend rank 1 before you even do that, though, to get all the heroes from that, or at least from a new one, like, if they have, one for the Death Knight or something, right? Because they did add one for the Demon Hunter, so I'd be surprised if they don't do one for the Death Knight. I could literally just tap every turn and I'd be happy with it because you draw a Shadow Spell from that. Not really even worth it, but whatever. Try to play the hero power as many times as I can. Because yeah, if I don't get that one, then it's going to take forever because I'm not going to win 3 games anytime soon. Or like if I get Jiraxes, that's what I should be playing for. Regardless of anything else, I should just do fuck it. Yeah, that'll give me plenty of opportunities to heal my shit. Gain 1 health for each card, yeah.
Oh, that was so sparkly.
Your deck has no duplicates. See, like you could get that effect. Maybe my deck doesn't, but these Renounce decks tend to have a very high rate of duplicate cards. You could obviously wait till later. Do that for now. Give it even more health. What a crazy synergy. The whole idea here is just... that's one of my favorite arts for any card in the game, too. Although he looks a little bit different now. Wasn't that just supposed to be a base Archimon portrait? Maybe they changed that. Average Warcraft 3 player controlling the units. How they at least picture and fantasize about themselves. Silence a minion would be pretty good. And you have a friendly minion plus 2 health. Kind of share the love a little bit with that, but going face is perhaps not the most prudent choice. There's a pretty epic start in a couple of these games, but somehow... Okay, that doesn't bother me. That doesn't bother me. That does bother me. It's still not the end of the world, like... Still not the greatest value for him. We can just hope that we get something good from this, but there's really nothing else going on with it. What if we do this, destroy this, do that, get rid of one of these clowns? He's pretty good health value. Have to drag the game out so we can spam a hero power as many times as I want. Alright, that's fine, I guess. The Lothab is kind of cute. Let's see if we get something good from this, though. I mean, let's do that to try to survive for now. Using defensive Lothab or just a curve Lothab is always a bad thing, but can't always just, you know, do it as like put the clam down. It's the perfect mid-range card because you just do it and just finish them off if you have a moderately decent board. In all of card game history, that's one of my favorite cards for such a simple reason. And then don't even get me started on the Dark Matter Dragon Fruit, which has basically the same effect, but it's persistent. So an 8 mana 6/6 that hits 3 damage to in a cone, like to all 3 of these, let's say, if it's there. It's more like positional based because that's how that game works, but also all tricks, all spells for your opponent cost 6 more, period, not just that turn. Like a persistent Lothab effect. This one isn't going particularly well, though. You could do like wow, that's actually moronic because that ends up killing me anyway. Okay, he's gonna win. I'm not gonna waste my time. Maybe they would have just played with me a little bit, but that didn't do much as far as the hero power. I really should just spam it, which is what some of these decks are trying to do at the beginning anyway, like just to try to buff up the Twilight Drake. But will this Sargeras actually be epic? Because the card one isn't, even though I still haven't played it once yet. And the way I got it was so epic. The first episode when this expansion came out, right, a couple months ago, I go in and I'm like, okay, I want to get Sargeras, so I'll disenchant a bunch of stuff, right? Towards the end of the episode, I'm like, okay, let me disenchant a bunch of cards, open a bunch of packs, and I'll craft Sargeras, right, just so I have him. And then, as I'm opening the packs to try to disenchant stuff, I get Sargeras. It's not just that I get a legendary, I get specifically that one. And it was from, like, one of those Mal'Ganis packs that I got, you know, like, what are the chances of that? That's one of the most insane RNG moments ever. You're not just getting a legendary, you're getting exactly the one that you were trying to go for. One to 4 minutes, dude. Yeah, I can't believe how bugged out this shit was, though, in the 1 month. For the whole month, you know, even towards the end, I just can't believe it. You might think, oh, you know, it's just a card that nobody's using, which I'm pretty sure that must be true. Otherwise, they would have put more emphasis on it. But it's like, people are even saying, oh, it's a well-known bug. It's a well-known bug, but apparently not by Blizzard. Like, how hard would that be to fix, too? It's so weird. As soon as you see a format like that come out, people are, of course, going to try stuff like that because it's just fun. But Blizzard is the anti-fun police, I guess, sometimes. Like Warcraft 4, we'd rather do Mists of Pandaria and Warlords of Draenor. Isn't that more fun? fucking cash cow that WoW could be, but even then, one doesn't have to come at the expense of the other. I don't even care, dude. I'll literally just use my hero power 12 times. So I can just fucking go to sleep, and so I can get Sargeras, and we'll look at him next time, or whatever. It's not even a rush. We can do those anytime. We haven't seen Sargeras. We haven't seen Mal'Ganis as far as the heroes. We haven't seen... there's a couple heroes that I would like to do. Right, Sargeras, Mal'Ganis. I feel like there's at least another one for Warlocks. We can see that Cthulhu one for Druid. I actually bought a lot of cosmetics in the course of this last couple of months or even last year, just because I'm trying to single-handedly keep the game alive. If even I am doing that when I never would buy microtransactions ever, it's almost me like giving back to the game or paying the game back somehow. Oh, I guess... Huh, I guess it really only was Mal'Ganis. What the fuck? I thought I had something else. Wait, what? These ones I don't even care about because I don't play as Demon Hunter. That I don't care about. That is kind of cool, but I mean, we've seen it. I haven't actually seen her. And when I say I haven't seen them, it might even be that we haven't seen them on the other side too much, or maybe I don't pay attention. Colory Nemzi. Okay, let's just try to spam my hero power. That's really all I care about. Yeah, they did pull out some of their best cosmetics for this stage in the game. Sargeras, they got fucking Cthulhu, the Eye. They used another N'Zoth. I mean, this one I just got on the shop for like $5, which is a very fortuitous, lucky moment because I had wanted that one for years, and so it was just an incidental thing. It's possible it had come up on the shop maybe before that too, but saved myself $75, so the joke's on them, but I would have had to wait years and years to actually get that. Or is it going to bug out and stop me from actually doing this? Okay, I'll just relaunch because it's being dumb. I never really use my alternate art for that. Like I always do for this. I always do that one, but not this one. Just because I feel like the text is easier to read on this one, but they're both pretty good. And this is just kind of too small, right? The background is almost too big on this one. You can't really appreciate it, especially in like a thumbnail or something. This one is much more zoomed in. Obviously, it's inspired by that Kaiba thing. Whereas like you're a third-rate duelist with a fourth-rate deck. But yeah, that's a fitting one. That might be one of my best channel arts ever because I feel like I kind of owed that to Hearthstone because I would play that so much even on stream back in the day, and I never had an art for it. Meanwhile, I would have art for like single episodes of other series, like not for the series, but just for one fucking thing, like Case 3 in Phoenix Wright or something like that. So just for that one, or not even day 1 of the trial of Case 3, and I would do like that Lady Kira thing or whatever. So, like the point is, kind of insulting not to have a proper piece of art for Hearthstone, for all that it's meant to me. But that could pass off for the Warcraft TCG too, but that game is even more dead than this.
Versus
The power of evil cannot be matched.
Yeah, let's just turn into Draxes, then we can justify doing the hero power as much as I want. Right, but is it going to actually happen is the big question. The 5 armor thing is so dumb, dude. I hate that change. Like, you didn't need to make that. They made him cost 8. I would rather just have the older Draxes back. He costs 9. He doesn't give you armor, but he gives you 15 health. Like, what do you mean, dude? You're trying to tell me that wasn't overpowered at the beginning of the game in fucking literal classic Hearthstone, but it would be overpowered now to have him give you 15 health? Again, even if you change all the other things back to what they were. And it removes the most fun aspect, like destroy your hero and replace it with Draxes. But it doesn't do that anymore. And that means if you play him from your hand, like it wouldn't work as a minion, like, oh, whoops. If you play him from your hand, like if they play Dirty Rat, he can't come down as a 3/15 or something like that. Right, because he's no longer considered that. Just kind of slow pace it. We got to play this as much as I can, but I want to do it with Draxes would be the most fitting. So we don't even really get a chance to use Renounce much. I could just play this forever. Like at the pace that I go, I get just every episode Renounce Darkness, no variety at all. It's kind of fine because I barely get to appreciate it in the first place. Just we didn't get to play it at all last month. We haven't really had too many chances to play it this month, but at least this one is my fault. If ever there was a time where something wasn't my fault, it would have been that, right? The fact that it's actually just bugged out and not giving me anything. Play the Twilight Drake, just don't summon too many things, or can I get rid of that somehow? Heal 4, and that's fine. Let's just spam the hero power even more so we can get the Twilight Drake sooner. Or this is where I'm going to end up dying because I probably should renounce just to play lower cost stuff, because whatever I do here is not going to be too good. Fuck. Deal 2 to a minion, you'll freeze your own thing just to do that. Or no, it won't even freeze it. We can do this, and then we do have some AoEs coming up. It's just a question of, you know, I could play the Molten Giants. I mean, you're kind of doing this on purpose. Like, I want to get low so I can play both of them, but then I have to give them taunt or something to actually make it worth it. Right, that's the whole problem with this, is even playing those for free, or that's a pretty good combo in and of itself. You'll go back up to 18, and then you'll go here. So at least we have board control. I could also use Siphon Soul, which that's probably counterspell, I guess, that he played. In some of these twist formats, you barely notice. This just feels like normal, but of course, restricting the card pool is my most important thing that I like. But obviously, the whole 40 health thing, like, it's not that big of a deal. I mean, that was a pretty good play that I did there, but he's doing fine. This is just to stall it out to the point where I get your access, but again, your health value is not going to go up, so if we go down again, I'm going to be screwed. This is the only healing I have. I mean, it might even be worth it to do that somehow, but... Or no, you wouldn't even have to. You could just Hellfire it. Right? Don't even really have to, though. Let's do like this. Or I would want to do Siphon Soul, but I guess I won't. Should be safe enough for what that's worth. Like, get rid of this clown. The other two are no big deal. We do have Siphon Life for next turn, Siphon Soul. We do have Jiraxis. I mean, the fact that he's turn 8 is kind of cute, but it almost doesn't matter. So could I play it in this situation and then spam my hero power like 10 times? Because that's really the point. I almost want this guy to drag it out. What are you doing? Okay, that almost implies that he has some sort of lethal, which you might have anyway. Yes, of course, play around the mage doing that as a damage source. This will give me 5 armor anyway, so who gives a shit? Okay, so I don't even care so much about winning, but we're in a decent shape, but there's no reason why you can't do this much damage either. We could just... Only other healing we have is Siphon Life. Pretty ideal situation to do it in, though, because... Oh, please. Give me a couple turns at least, dude. What the fuck? Okay, this is going to take actually an infinite amount of time, so I'm only going to use my hero power here. I hate playing like just to lose, but I just don't have time, dude. Like, what the fuck was that, dude? I don't even care if I ultimately lose that game, but at least let me play it out. Of course, he had... Like, doesn't that mean he would have... I guess he probably just top decked one of those cards, but... I haven't done an arena in actually a super long time. I wasn't really enjoying them as much now. At the beginning of the game, I love them. Could just be like you get jaded by them, or it could be that they, you know, the way they work obviously changes a lot. There was a certain simplicity to it that was nice, like. But then it could get boring too. Like you're drafting for for just raw value rather than anything else. This seems like it's bugging out, or maybe I'm just being impatient. It really doesn't want me to get to level 50, does it? Holy shit. Scheduled maintenance, or it's going to be so late that we'll run into maintenance on the next day in the morning when I otherwise wouldn't expect to, but I don't think Sunday is the day for that.
There's some ancient power.
Or imagine if there was some maintenance day, like I play the game once a week and it happens to be happening on that one day, but then I guess you should already know that. Like, going into it, you should know that that's the one day that they typically do it, but that is hilarious. Or like, yeah, Pokemon TCG Live was like that. I play it on like a Thursday every week or whenever it was, right? Before I imagine that Pokemon turned into WoW Hardcore Classic. What a weird slot. But it was getting updated that one day when I decided to play it on my normal schedule of when I was doing it. So there's nothing I could do. And I think I still kept it there. I just, maybe they didn't do maintenance again after that. That's one of the rare games I played in recent years that was actually in beta while doing it. Normally I tend to avoid that, but it is kind of cool to see something when it first comes out. And I kind of segued from the death of Pokemon TCG Online to Pokemon TCG Live. So I got in and got to play Pokemon for the first time ever in any form in online TCG right before it went offline. And I didn't know that it was going offline, but so like at the end of 2022. And then I got in right in the beginning of TCG Live too. That line would make so much more sense if he was actually the Garrosh with the fucking eyes and stuff, right? The 1,000 win reward thing.
The legions I command.
I think I was pretty close to actually getting that one, but so all I want to do is this like 9 times, but I mean, the best excuse to do it is Drax's, but we'll never survive for even 0.5 seconds once I do that. Or even Renounce makes it so you're not just killing yourself with that. Or like, you know, you'll get a one that's actually worth doing. Yeah, we're just totally saving up for the Twilight Drake. This is totally not a stupid play to do. Even though I could have just killed that too. It would almost be hard to do it this many times. Like, you're gonna almost single-handedly kill yourself with just that alone. Damn, he's really going in on that. This would set up for like a crazy Molten Giant type of play, so it almost wouldn't be bad to do this, but
We must cleanse the Sunwell.
just clear the board, do the tap again, which I'm getting very low. Yeah, summon something else. I don't care, dude.
The multitudes cry out.
Maybe he's trying to complete a daily quest too. Okay, so now we could play the Siphon Life thing, or we could do Renounce, I guess. We could do both actually. So let's see if this gives us a heal. Or wait. Or no, we could give something taunt. Give this taunt, I guess. I mean, it'd be kind of stupid to try to play for the Jade here, because there's no guarantee you're gonna have card draw or anything to make it worthwhile. Clearly, this is still going to work out. The one armor that we get from this is totally going to make it worth it. This card is garbage now because they don't even have taunt. Oh, what the fuck? Okay, at least we played it a few times. Can we do it again? 5 more. Oh my god, this is so stupid. But at least it's not requiring me to win games, because that would be the truly impossible condition to reach. Against the player of my skill. No, they have lower skill. That's why they use better decks and still sometimes lose to me. How about that? Never account for the means argument. Right, your rank doesn't determine your skill. Your deck determines your rank.
N'Zoth versus Arthas.
That was a pretty epic Flame Leviathan, though. I'm pretty happy about that moment. That is so fucking... Because his board is full, I don't have an AoE. I guess I could have just gotten any random mage AoE, but you wouldn't have known whether you even have them or what they're going to be, but that was just awesome. Let's not even put the pressure on him and just try to do this. 5 times should be relatively easy, even if he just goes full face roll aggro. I love all these random amounts that people will go for, too. That's the kind of flexibility that you gotta have. Like Yu-Gi-Oh had 40 to 60 cards you can have. Magic has like between 60 and 250 or something. This game was not only a very small number and only 30 cards, but it was also a case where you're not able to have any variation between them. In honesty, it's actually way more complex than you would have thought, given that. When I first heard that, I was almost a little bit nervous about it. I was obviously looking forward to the game a lot, even being a Blizzard fan, Warcraft fan, but card game fan above all. It's like, somehow, it didn't feel like that big of a deal that you only had 30 cards. The pace of the game still works very well, and so I'd like to think I'm objective in the big picture, like, oh, this is one of my favorite games ever, and it's a great card game, one of the best card games of all time, although not near the top of the list for obvious reasons, but still, it's like, that's not because, oh, I'm a Warcraft fan. I think it's just good, period. But maybe it's not in the greatest state right now. You could do 2 hero powers on the same turn. How about that? Which you could, but... Okay, that's going to be good at least. Why do I always think of this as Volcanic Potion? Isn't that something else? Volcanic is some card name and maybe some other card game. Like Volcanic Raptor. I can't remember. Do we have a way to just maybe stall this out a little bit? Kill that. So I think we're what, like 3 out of 5? We can still win, of course, but some of these decks we're going against are actually pretty good. The one thing that they mess up with some of these voice lines is like they make them feel kind of too snarky or like they're trying too hard, right? Like he's not supposed to be, he doesn't need to prove anything to anybody. Oh wow, what a perfect synergy for my daily quest thing, but that's 2 less for each secret you play this game. I mean, you could just do that. I don't really want to though. Use a friendly minion shuffle into your deck. Do that, or you can still do that. Now we're kind of baiting in that obviously that secret is gonna kill it, because why else would I ping the other thing? Okay, so we've already done it. I think that's the 5th one coming up. I love that it's even showing me that. Yeah, I hear you have trouble completing your daily quest that involves using your hero powers, so just keep doing that. Discover a spell. I hear you like random effects, so you give you a random effect so you can get another random effect from the random effect. Like you renounce into this, into another card that lets you discover something amazing. Which is arguably one of the strengths of Hearthstone, but it's also kind of dumb. But like there's so many amazing cards that other card games don't really have mechanics like that. Like Journey, Explore Ungoro, or Zinazari, or Renounce, or even just like stuff that sort of changes the game or changes your hero completely. It changes your deck upside down. The hero cards, even though they are kind of busted and imbalanced in a way that impacts the game sort of disproportionately. And people might defend that and say, well, both players can have them, but it still doesn't matter, because like whoever would get them first would just automatically win, or whoever would play them first would just win. So there is a certain consideration with that that's not necessarily good. I could just kind of ignore that, actually. Give it kind of more targets. Nothing really to worry about there. Yeah, make like a speed run daily quest deck. Like, oh yeah, for the hero power one, you gotta have double Koldara Drakes and like. Yeah, you would think about this game in this premise that it wouldn't have been even as successful as it was. Like, you only have 30 health, you only have 30 cards in your deck with no flexibility. You only have two copies of each card. Like, so many things about it don't seem that good, but.
Drink with me, friend.
And even as somebody who was excited about it, I was kind of worried about that, I remember. But then I ended up playing it more than like I had just gotten GTA 5. Oh, what the fuck, dude? I guess the odds of getting that are maybe higher than you might think, just because, you know, there's going to be less legendaries in the pool of cards here. But to get that twice in the same day within like an hour of play, it's pretty crazy, isn't it? And the first one is obviously far more impactful. This was just kind of random. Alright, whatever. Whether we win or lose, we're still the winner of the day because fuck. That almost doesn't bother me because I can still ping it and whatever, but I could try to discover a spell here that's gonna kill him. Why don't we leave it up to chance? Like, this whole deck has been that way anyway. We'll discover the spell, and if that's enough to kill him, then so be it. Or between these two random spells, we would have potential lethal. Come on, there could be something. 4 damage isn't that much. Deal 3 damage to a character. Is there no way to do one more though?
Well played.
Not well played yet, dude. Shut up. Or no, fuck, I'm stupid. Or maybe because I hesitated. I mean, even if I'm tired, there's no excuse for not seeing that. Wait, what? Oh no, I did do it. Okay, here we go, dude. Most epic badass character in the whole history of the universe, but who didn't have a very exciting effect where you just summon the fucking imp portal. Oh, don't they normally say something when you do that, or is that just in the when you craft like when you craft a legendary or something? And of course, all warlocks always get the coolest cosmetics. N'Zoth is a warlock. Sargeras is a warlock. Kil'jaeden would be a warlock. Archimonde is apparently would be a warlock. Like, just everybody. Demons are always warlocks because they use shadow magic, of course. So many fucking sick cosmetics just because of that. Then they apparently make Cthulhu a druid, which doesn't make sense. He should just be a warlock too. Okay, see you tomorrow.